Hello there. Yes, I'm Akaze, the project maestro. It's great to have you once again. I trust you are doing great. Yes, in my last video, I outlined the causes of failed construction projects. I went ahead to detail and explain them to you what could cause failed construction projects. Yes, so today I want to highlight what you must do, everything you need to do to revive your failed project. If peradventure you based on my last video, you have looked at your project and you discover that this project seems to be a failing or failed project. I want to highlight to you today the things you need to do to revive that failing or failed project. So let's get right into it. Yes. So a side note here, what you need to do or what you will need to do to revive your failing project, it will all depend on what are the cause or what are the causes or cause or what's the cause of what your failed project. But in this video, I'm going to outline as many steps as possible. So what I'm trying to say is that what I'm going to say today or the steps I'm going to mention may not all apply to your project. They may not all apply to you. It all depends on you on what you identify what as the cause of what of the field of your field what construction project. If you missed my last video, kindly go watch it and you will see the different reasons or different the causes of what a failed construction project. What are the steps for you to take to revive that failing project of yours? Number one, first of all, you need to identify what are the actual causes of what the project failure. What are the actual causes of your project failing or becoming a failed project? That's the starting point. Because only when you identify the cause of that failed project, that is when you will be able to know which step you need to take to revive what that failed what project. So number one, you identify what the actual causes of what of your project failure. That's number one. The second step, the second step, I'm getting right into it now, is what you get the right professionals on your project. If you discover that the cause of your failed project was as a result of maybe inexperience or maybe supervision was the issue with your failed project. Maybe the project was not well supervised. The people you had, maybe your consultants were maybe they were doing some hanky panky, your supervisors were doing some underhanded practices, then if that's the case, you will need to change what the professionals on your project. You need to change your supervision team. There was a project that I was engaged in. The project lasted quite a number of years. There was a time when the project is a design and build project. And and build means what we call design and build project means that the architect who designed the project is also the contractor. They also built the building. The clients asked them to construct the building. So that was the kind of project. So I was their quantity surveyor on that project. And so in this project, what happened was that at the time, the contractors who are my clients discovered that some of their supervisors were doing some underhanded practices. They were diverting materials, they were doing some stuff that was costing the contractor a lot of money. So what happened? The contractor called a meeting of the leads, the contractor, me, and some other people. We had a meeting, and then it was agreed that look, we need to let these people go. You need to send them away. So that was what happened. Those engineers, those supervisors, they were sent away, and then some other people were brought in just to curb what that issue. Because the contractor realized that if they did not do that, it's going to affect the project. It's going to affect the project, and of course, they had a project to deliver. The client will not entertain any excuses that we had some of our supervisors who were doing some hanky panky. No, so you need to identify. You need to change you need to get in the right professionals on your project if the issue is about what your supervision, if the cause of your field project is what is supervision. So that's that. Now the second on the third thing now you need to do is what? Rejig your procurement strategies. Rejig your procurement strategy. If you watched my last video, I talked a lot about procurement, as part of project planning. It's one of the things that guarantee the success of a project or will guarantee the failure of a project. So you need to rejig your procurement strategies. You need to look inwards. Okay, how have we, if you realize that procurement has been the issue, maybe you didn't get your procurement strategies right, you didn't do proper project planning ab initio at the beginning of your project, then you need to rejig your strategies. You know, how did you get how did you engage your contractors? How did you engage your vendors? How did you engage your artisans? How did you engage your material? If it was materials, what did you not do right in procuring materials? Or what did you not do right in procuring your equipment? Or what did you not do right in procuring or in engaging your contractors and vendors and things like that? So you need to rejig your procurement strategies. Of course, for you to do this, you might not be able to do this on your own. You need to get a professional. A conservator is, well, I'm not saying because I'm a conservator, but conservators are procurement specialists. So a conservator will help you look at your strategies, how look at what you have done before that led to the project failure, and also it will also help you rejig what your procurement strategies. Advise you, okay, these are the best things to do. This is what to do. These are the best practices on how you can going forward, procure your materials, procure your equipment, procure labor, procure vendors, and the likes. So you need to rejig what your procurement strategies. Next thing, you need to engage what qualified vendors, contractors, or artisans to restart the project. Now, if workmanship, poor workmanship was the cause of your project failure. Yes, if poor workmanship, maybe the contractors that you engaged originally for the project did not do, they didn't do a good work, and as a result, the quality of the project is very poor, very bad, and then that's why you have to stop. You have to send them away and stop. Then you need to engage what the right kind of what you need to engage what the right qualified vendors, artisans, contractors, what to restart the project. You won't start your project with that same set of people or with unqualified what projects. I mean, so unqualified contractors, vendors, and artisans. You need to what you need to get the right. Get the right qualified, get the qualified, vendors and artisans and contractors to handle what your project going forward. Yeah. So another thing you need to do, another step you need to take, you need to prepare a work program for the outstanding works in the project. With strict timelines for all the project parties. That's all the people with strict timelines for all the project parties, and a definite what completion date. A definite completion date. Here again, when we talk about work program, a work program is a also I'll talk about that fully in some other video, but a work program outlines the timeline for each section of your work, each section of your project, each aspect of your project. It outlines the timeline that is required to complete those projects. It has a completion date. It can also outline the various parties or the various parties that need to, or the various vendors, artisans, contractors that need to carry out this or that in that particular project. So that's what a work program is all about. Usually the conservator is also the person that is engaged to prepare what a work program. So you need to prepare a work program for the outstanding works. Your project has failed, or it has been stopped, or maybe it has been abandoned. Now you want to start, you want to restart. You don't just start like that. You need to have what we call the completion work program. Yes, how long is it going to take your project? How long is it going to take you to complete the project from the time of restart till the ending? You need to have a definite completion date, and then aside from the completion date, every work, every work section, every work that is still left to be done in the project needs to be outlined with specific timeline, and therefore you need somebody to what to you need a professional, maybe a QS, conservator, or a architect, or somebody to supervise and ensure that those timelines are followed what to the letter, such that if if the work program details that your project is going to be completed in 2 months time or 3 months time, that 3 months time is exact. It doesn't go beyond that. You need what a work program. You need a work program. So that's what you need to do that to ensure that what you restart what you put. In fact, this particular one, irrespective of whatever the reason is or whatever the cause of your construction project, you need to do this. You need to have what a work program. It is important for every failed project, for the start of every project. You need to have what a work program. Yeah, the next thing you need to do, well, you need to prepare cost estimates for the completion of all outstanding works in the project. You need to prepare work estimates, and and those cost estimates will help you determine what a budget, so that you have a comprehensive budget for what the completion of the work. Now, this is irrespective of if or whatever the cost of your failed project was. If you are restarting a project, it is important for you what to determine, to have what a cost breakdown, a cost estimate of the outstanding works to be completed. It is very important, so that you have a budget, and then you begin to work what towards that budget. You ensure that that budget will also help you to that budget will also help you to determine how much you need to complete the project, and also determine when funds will needed at different times. At the different times at which you will need to inject funds into the project. That cost estimate, along with your work program, is going to help you what achieve that. It's going to help you achieve that. Of course, the quantity surveyor is the one who who is tasked with the job of preparing what cost estimates. So it's very, very important for you if you want to what revive what your failed projects. Yes. What other thing do you need to do? You also need to review the entire scope of the project, the entire scope, to determine if you want to what add or remove anything. Of course, if you watch my last video, I mentioned that one of the causes of a failed project is when a client, decides to change scope of the project, change something today, change one aspect of the project tomorrow, and like that. When you want to restart a project that has failed or that has been abandoned, you need to review the entire scope and determine, okay, this and this and this is, decide what you want. What are the additional things you want in your project? Or what are the things you want to be removed from the scope? You decide and determine that. And when you determine that, the architect will put that into the design, review the design. The QS, quantity surveyor, will do what? We estimate those changes, and so that the final budget, which I've mentioned, the cost estimate will be exact. Will be exact. So you need to review what the entire scope of what of your project to determine what you want to remove or what you want to retain. It's so important what to do this before what you proceed. Now, also you need to engage with the goal with the statutory authorities, that the government regulatory authorities, to resolve any issue. If there's any lingering approval issues, like in my last video, I mentioned about the project which I'm involved in, which had approval issues. If there are any approval issues for before you restart your project, you want to ensure that you're in the good books of the government authorities. You want to ensure that, look, you get all your approvals are adequate, all your approvals are intact. You have them, you have photocopies of them on site before you start, so that nothing in future will come and was no government authority will come and will stop the project. So it's very, very important for you to do that. Very important. So these are the 8 steps you need to take for you to restart your failed or failing construction project. As I stated at the beginning of this video, not all the steps highlighted here may be necessary in your project. Some are common to any, some are common to any project. Yes, some of the steps I mentioned are common, like the cost estimate, the work program, the viewing scope, things like that. Yeah, but not all of them not all of them may be common to you or be necessary in your project. The steps you need to take will depend on the cause or causes of the failure of your project. So I want to encourage you to avoid failed projects today. Get in touch with in touch with us today, and let us help you revive that failed or failing project of yours. So feel free. There's a link somewhere around the video. There's a link somewhere around this video. Please click that link. Book a free discovery call with me, and I want to believe we will be able to help you revive your failing project. So till my next video, I wish you success in your projects. Stay blessed.